Hello everyone! If you want to learn how to make this Nike flower embroidery, then you're at the right place. Look for the Nike logo online and then copy it on a piece of paper. Once you're done with that, poke a hole with a needle into it and then start cutting it out. Now get your hoodie or sweater or whatever you want and put your embroidery hoop where you want to stitch the logo. Place your stencil over it and then fix it with some needles. Alternatively, you could also use a pencil and line out the logo, but I personally prefer it this way. The first flower that you'll learn how to make is a rose. Take your thread and make a knot at the end of it, and then go through the center of your rose from the back. Now we are going to create 5 stitches around the center. Make your first stitch by going from the front to the back. And now come to the front by simply stitching through the center again. Create a second stitch the same way that you did it before. And come to the front again by stitching through the center of the rose, just like we already did. Repeat the same step 5 times. You could also do 7 times, but what is important is that the number of your stitches is uneven, because otherwise it won't work. Once you're done with that, come to the front again by stitching through the center. Now we want to weave our thread through the stitches that we just created. Therefore, you have to alternate between going over and under those stitches. And here we are not stitching through our shirt like we did before, but we stay at the front of our shirt all the time and simply weave our thread through those stitches. Go over and under your stitches until you're happy with your rose. Now to finish our rose, we have to go to the back side. I do this by stitching through one of those 5 stitches that we created in the beginning. Then flip your shirt and secure your thread. Securing your thread looks always the same. Put your needle under one stitch and hold onto the thread with your other hand. Then move the needle through the loop that you just created and pull. And I don't know about you, but I get major trust issues, so I always secure my thread twice. Simply repeat the same process one more time and then cut the thread off. Now the next flower that we will do is a marguerite. Make a knot in your thread and go through the center of your flower. Now you're at the front. Then go through the center again so that you'll end up at the back side again. But what is very important is that you hold on to the thread so that there is a little loop left at the front. Once you've got that little loop, come to the front by stitching through the tip of your petal. This way your petal will stay in place. Now finish your petal by stitching right next to your last stitch. To make the next petal, come to the front again by stitching through the center. And then simply repeat the same process again. So, go back through the center and hold on to your loop. Then come to the front again by stitching through the tip of your petal and secure it. And then go to the back side again by stitching right next to your previous stitch. You can make as many petals as you like. And securing your thread for the marguerites works the same way as we did it for the roses. Now we learn the last flower for today. At first, we'll create the center of it. Stitch to the front and then go a little bit to the left or right and then stitch to the back. And repeat the same process one more time. Then secure your thread at the back side. Now for the petals of our flower, we want to stitch to the front and we are very close to the center of our flower with this stitch. Then choose how big you want your petals to be and stitch to the back side. Then come to the front again and place a stitch right next to the previous one. And I usually make 3 of those stitches to create 1 flower petal. So let's make 1 more stitch. Now for the rest of our flower petals, we simply repeat the same process until we're happy with our flower. And here I'll show you one more time how to secure the thread. So flip your shirt, put the needle under a stitch, and hold onto the loop that you just created. Then move your needle through it, pull it, and cut off the thread. I continued filling in the rest of the logo with those types of flowers, and then I finished it with adding some green details. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you're going to try it out, I'd be very happy if you tag me in your Instagram post so that I can see your result. See you next time!